ever feel alone in the culture war, or see everything around you crumbling to ashes and dust, and you're kind of tired of it, but you feel like there's no one out there that would support you? Well, I've got 3 sites that actually might change your mind. So first we have Meta PCs. Meta PCs is a fantastic PC making company. They'll have pre-mades, they'll have all sorts of customs that you can make. You can get cases, possibly engravings and all that type of stuff. Like whatever you want, they can get it working for you. And they've got some pretty snazzy stuff. So check out Meta PCs. You can use the Geeks and Gamers code, which is 199, in order to get a percentage off of whatever you want to purchase. Check them out. Another one that's also really good is DEG Mods. DEG Mods and Ayaka Mods, which I will show you in a second, both share a common enemy in Nexus Mods. So if you've ever tried modding a game, Nexus Mods has been more pro-censorship and not allowing you, the gamer, to pick what you want to pick, play what you want to play, and mod your game the way you want to mod your game, because they don't believe you have the right because it might be politically inconvenient for them. So both DEG Mods and Ayaka Mods are both alternatives, and there are others, but these are the 2 main ones that I've heard about that can definitely change your view on who's out there and who's supporting what you yourself are looking for in any type of game or otherwise. Modding sites can be not safe for work, so please use your own discernment and know that you're not alone. There are other people like myself and Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and the hundreds if not thousands of other channels that are trying to do something good in the YouTube sphere against this pretty nasty counterstroke against us. So check out those 3 sites if you are interested in supporting those that support us. I make no money off of this. This is purely because I support what they do. So have a great day. Welcome, my friends and enemies. Glad you are here. Trying to change it up a little bit and see if I can make some smaller videos. So we have a news drop about Nexus Mods being sold. And I've got some images of articles of the actual person who created Nexus Mods and what they're doing by selling the company and what they plan on doing after this, or who's going to be the next management, all that kind of stuff. So let's just jump into it. An update from Dark One. After almost 24 years of running Nexus Mods, the time has come for me to step back from the day-to-day management of the site. This isn't a decision I've made lightly, far from it, but one I think is in both my and my community's best interests. I started this project back in 2001 in my bedroom with a 56K modem and an excitement for the upcoming release of Morrowind with no grand ambitions or intentions. I didn't set out to build a business. I just wanted to make a place where modders could share their work without worrying it would vanish from the internet either the next time a fan site went offline or a publisher decided they were done with it. That idea grew legs, spread out arms, and turned into Nexus Mods. Since then, the site has been my entire adult life. Every single day for over 2 decades, I've been on call, whether it was fixing issues, reading feedback, pushing updates, or getting pulled into the latest bit of community drama. It's been rewarding, sometimes chaotic, often exhausting, and always personal. Somewhere along the way, I forgot to step back and breathe, or sleep properly. The dilemma of running a major social network that does not rest. The strain of being responsible for the behemoth I created has taken its toll. The stress of the job has been a regular source of anxiety and stress-related health issues. I realized that I have been burning out, and this started to have an impact on my staff and Nexus Mods as a whole. So I firmly believe that the best thing for the future of Nexus Mods is for me to step aside and bring in new leadership to steer the business forward with renewed energy to make Nexus Mods the modding community we all truly deserve. One of the biggest reasons I've been doing this for so long is that I've never felt that I truly found someone who really gets the modding community the way I do. Finding a new owner who would be able to understand and respect the myriad intricacies of both Nexus Mods as a business and the wider modding community was essential. After months of meeting face-to-face talks, and a whole lot of soul searching, I am thrilled to say that I truly believe I have found exactly the right people for the task. So yes, the ownership of Nexus Mods has changed hands, but I want to be clear. This isn't some corporate exit or a backroom deal. This is me doing something I probably should have done years ago, taking care of myself, reclaiming some headspace, and finally letting go of an idea that I have to do everything and be responsible for everything myself. So what changes now? Honestly, not a lot. At least not from your side of things. Behind the scenes, I've already been stepping back bit by bit. Over the past few years, the team has taken on more of the weight, and the site's been doing better than ever. What's changing now is simply the formality of it, making sure the right people are in place to guide Nexus Mods into the next era. That includes some structural updates to the company ownership that we aren't shouting about, but I want to be transparent. They're about long-term stability, not changing the values or directions of the platform. Nexus Mods is a community-first and mod-authored focused. That's not up for negotiation. While I'm stepping back, it's important to understand that Nexus Mods isn't just about me and hasn't been for a long time. The Nexus Mods you see today has been created by a team of 40 incredibly talented people, some of whom have been here for over 9 years. They live and breathe modding. They care deeply. They're experienced, committed, and they're still very much here. None of this is changing. So if I can ask one thing, it's to continue supporting them, the site, and the company or community that they help nurture every day. In terms of new faces, you'll also be seeing more of Foladino Victor and Rapsak Marinus, who've come on board to lead this next chapter. They've got deep roots in gaming, tech, and most importantly, they care about the site, the community, and the future we're building here. They have my complete trust, and I'm completely proud to be bringing them on board. What about me? I'm not disappearing. I'll still be annoying people on the mod author Discord, lurking on the forums, and sticking my nose in the community matters when I can't help myself. I'll also be working with the team to help guide the overall direction of the site, just without needing to be the person who signs off on every little thing without taking responsibility for any and all things Nexus Mods. Frankly, that's a good thing for me, the team, and for the future of Nexus Mods. So, a couple things I wanted to address by going back to this. It's hard for me to believe this person is a responsible person in terms of not taking care of a company or whatever, but I mean in terms of like actually caring about modding more so than caring about creating his ideal utopia on an online site. So a couple things. He's like, oh, I just wanted to, this is a passion project. I just wanted to get in there and create something so when other sites go off, people can still get their stuff. I didn't expect to make this a business. I didn't want to make this a business. It turned into a business. It was like, oh, okay. Passion isn't a bad thing, but there are oftentimes, passion becomes a bit out of control when you have biases or you make things politically motivated or whatever the case might be. You make rules for thee, but not for me, for different sides of your community, and it makes it a very bad place for people who are passionate about modding, or people who have a different viewpoint than you do, or maybe the 40 people that work for you. And it might not be you yourself, nuking mods from orbit, but you've got people working for you who are nuking those mods from orbit because they share a worldview, possibly with you, which I believe they do, and that's kind of toxic to your own environment. So I understand the need for him to step back and personal health stuff. It could be a ruse, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, it's just been stressful and whatever, and maybe he's having a hard time with the business, and maybe it's not doing as well as he might be letting on. But he thinks he's found people that will truly get it. Like they actually, they understand the community. Now here's the thing. Communities are fostered, but in my humble opinion, communities should never be artificially grown by a company. They should be naturally grown by the company's choices. So if you're making a modding site and you're allowing mods on your site, the community you're going to grow is a community that wants to mod. That's the community that you're getting. Now, if you're promoting one type of a mod over another type of mod, like say it's okay to have tons of LGBTQ plus type of mods, but it's not okay to not have those in your games, that's going to create a bit of a tension climate in your community, because you have people who are, yes, slay queen, and then you have those who are, I'd rather not play this in my game, so I want to make these LGBTQ flags American flags, which fits the setting, and it's also their own personal game. They can play it the way they want to, which is the modding community as a whole, is play the way you want. Like, this is how it's always been. This is how modding is. This is why modding exists. It's to make changes to the games. So you make these games, or you make these mods for these games that allow changes, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, you decide you don't want anything to do with changes because it might be politically or otherwise inclined in a different direction than you agree with, or people in your staff agree with. And then you have the whole community manager debacle they have on Discord for gaming devs and stuff all the time, where they have a super over the top, we'll say, biased manager for the community, and they go trigger happy with the ban hammer, and it causes a lot of bad PR. It causes a lot of issues amongst the community divided. The people who are staying silent are really not enjoying what you're doing, but they stick around because they didn't have options. Now we have options like DEG mods and Ayaka mods. And then apparently there's other ones as well, but those are the main two. The ownership has changed hands, but it's not a corporate exit or a backroom deal. I mean, it literally was a backroom deal. It was literally you made the decision to do this, and now you're just letting everybody know. I don't know if you know what a backroom deal is, but a backroom deal is when you do it in the back room. You're not doing it in front of everybody. This isn't something you've been talking in the public, open community space for time saying, we are looking into this. You haven't done that. So it is a backroom deal by definition. But he's like, I'm going to take care of myself. Good for you. Take care of yourself. Everyone should take care of themselves. But he's like, not a lot will change. That's going to be a problem. Because what's been happening recently isn't what happened years ago when people like myself discovered Nexus Mods. We're like, hey, I can get stuff for Skyrim that makes the game more fun and enjoyable. Great. Here's a mod that puts, LGBTQ cheese wheels in your game. It's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, great. Go for it. Well, here's a mod that changes two characters that might be gay or lesbian and makes them straight. How dare you? This is kind of a weird stance, because it's not your game. You don't have to use that mod if that was the case. I'm not saying that is the case, because I don't think Skyrim has gay characters, but it's one of those things where if somebody makes something that contradicts what you like, well, that's for them to download and play the way they want to. That's the whole point of games. If somebody wanted to take Dragon Age Origins and mod it to be like Dragon Age Veilguard, who am I to stop them? Who are you to stop them? You would promote that. But if you were to take somebody who had, I don't know, some random LGBTQ game out there on PC and then make it a straight game, you'd have a problem with that mod. That's the problem. You're politically biased. Your worldview is biased from other people, which you can have your own worldview. You can have whatever belief you want. However, you're stepping in on somebody else's area. And that's why other mod sites popped up and said, hey, we'll take your mods and we'll host them because we don't want to have the censorship that Nexus Mods has. So this is a whole different kerfluffle, but you created this monster and now you're like, oh, shoot. Now, there's not changing values or direction of the platform. Your whole community guideline should have been be nice to people and play how you want to play. That should have been literally it. I mean, aside from obvious, like, don't do anything criminal. That should be literally it. It's just like, be nice. Somebody posting a mod that changes LGBTQ flags to American flags is not hating LGBTQ people inherently. So if somebody's like, I'm uncomfortable with this mod, it's like, then don't use it. Don't use it. Or if you as a mod site want to give these people the option to hide these potentially unpopular modern worldview type mods, give them a little checkbox to hit and they don't have to see it. And then everybody else who wants to see it do it. But you won't do that because you want the world to change the way that worldview that you have and the way you want the community to grow. It's the kind of the same thing where, like, if you disagree with somebody and they have a mod that you don't like, they're a Nazi, and therefore it's okay if we get rid of them and we expel all the Nazis who aren't even actually Nazis. They're just literally people who want to play the game the way they want to play, and they want you to shove off and stop telling them what to do. It's like the libertarian mindset versus the totalitarian mindset, and you just can't help but be the totalitarian for whatever reason. So they're like, hey, these people are going to come in and do what I've been doing, and nothing's really going to change. So we're going to get the exact same stuff, so nothing's really changing for Nexus Mods for the better. It's just literally more of the same stuff, which is why people are trying to shift to DEG mods and Ayaka mods. And he's disappearing, whatever. I don't know if he's going to have any input or not. But what I do know is that they're not really doing as well as they might have been leading us to believe. So this is Black Tree Gaming, which is the Nexus Mods guys, little assets sheet, we'll say, about from 2023 to 2024, how much money they had in 2023 versus how much they had in 2024. They literally lost like half of the value in 1 year. That's not good. And based off of the rates they offer, if everyone was to do, say, a year thing and paying like $9 a month or something like that, which isn't horrible if mods is your entire life, go for it. This does not include people who are just doing a free account on Nexus Mods. But if you were to do how much money that they have for the year and how many people you would need to pay into that, it dropped from 2023 to 2024 by half if you're doing just purely premium subscriptions. Now, some of this could be ad revenue, which means, I mean, they have a lot of members. I think it was like 60 some members, or 60.8 million members or something like that. Like it's a very large member group, but that's not all premium members. They'd be making way more money than this if that was all premium members. So for the people who are just doing it for free, they're going to go for ad revenue or something of that nature. Well, guess what? They lost half their income. So they're not doing that great. They may not be like filing for bankruptcy right this second, but they're not doing great. So them coming out and saying, hey, you know, not much is changing, we're just doing a little bit of shuffling, it leaves me wondering, is taking a stand for a worldview that is not particularly popular right now, is that going to affect it even more? Because this is 2023 and 2024, so it could have already been on an incline or a decline because of choices made and whatnot. But I don't know if we'll ever actually know what is the ultimate cause, but I would venture to guess he's trying to make the company look like it's still afloat and that not much has changed. However, reality is often disappointing, as the saying goes. So, I am of the opinion that mistakes were made by trying to politicize his site that was supposed to be for modders, not for political modders, and turning it into something that's entirely different from what it was originally intended to be. Because again, if it was like 20 years ago, he starts making a mod site for something, and it's a good, passionate thing, and I do support that mentality, is like, if you're passionate about something, do it. It's that simple. But if you're not going to make it a political statement from the beginning, you shouldn't make it a political statement at all. You should just stay out of it and say, people, do what you want them to do. Let both of them on and see what people download. If people want to download the political ones, let them download the political ones. If they don't want to download the political ones, don't worry if they're not downloading the political ones. Don't get mad if they're doing a different political view download. It's not that big of a deal unless your entire world is just hell-bent on telling people what they should or shouldn't believe. So if that's your goal, then I guess you're gonna hit pretty on the nose. So personally, I'd advise against it, but that's just me. So uh, that's all going to be for this video. Hopefully it's short enough for you to enjoy. And if you do care about Nexus Mods in terms of you like the modding community and whatever because you want to do mods, check out DEG Mods and Ayaka Mods and see if there's something there that might tickle your fancy. I'm not going to tell you to stop using Nexus Mods, but I personally dislike what they've done to the modding community because they've caused a lot of strife. And I'm not a big fan of censorship. I'm just going to say that right now. So play what you want to play how you want to play, and have fun. And as always, remember, my friends, walk in the light.